Assalamu alaikum, everybody, and welcome to another episode of TSF Reviews. Joining me today are Junaid and Suhaib. All of us are big fans of the show. Speaking of which, we'll be talking about the Friends reunion, something I've personally waited 17 years to see. I have a lot to say about this. It's been a long ride watching Friends in 2002 up until now, and yeah, just a lot. I just love this reunion so much. What did you guys think?
Uh,
I
it
mean,
was emotional,
but
yes.
yeah,
It was very
yeah, go
emotional.
ahead.
There's a
The
lot to
thing,
cover.
yeah, the thing is, I was waiting for this reunion since a couple of years that we were hearing rumors and stuff like that that they will have a reunion. And now that they did have a reunion, it's very sad that they won't be having one again. So, but hey, I'm still watching Friends episodes daily, so I'll let Sohaib take a go.
Yeah, the meme, there was a meme that, just as soon as you finish the reunion, you start playing episode one of season one, just because that's how Friends has, the number of times you watch it, it does not get old. And you laugh just as much, if not more, every time you watch it. And it's just a season that's been a part of my life now for for I don't know how many years now, because living alone in a hostel in my life, this show was just whenever I was eating, staying, or I just had it in the background, just watching everything again and again and again. And this reunion was beautiful. It was beautifully done. Obviously there are two to three things that I wanted from this that I didn't get, but I think from what they had, from what the opportunity they had, from what the COVID restrictions and all that, what they could do, they put together something very beautiful. And as a Friends fan, we loved it pretty much.
Uh, Friends. I mean, there there's so much to say about this. There's a lot of people who say that Friends is overrated, and I mean, James Corden kind of shut everybody up when he told them that, oh, Friends has 100 billion plays across all streaming media, and I was just like,
Yeah.
whoa, hold up, how come that
And,
less?
and,
Only a
and this
hundred billion?
And this is excluding the small clips which we get on Facebook and other social
Yes,
media.
including that.
This is
Yes,
excluding
this is
that.
like the proper episodic
Yeah,
views only.
100 billion plays. And I'm like, that is way too less. That just means everybody on Earth watched it at least 10 times over. That's way
Yeah,
too less, in my opinion. Anyway, I mean, personally, I watch it once or twice a year, the entire show. Like,
pretty much.
same.
it's like it's just like a tradition. Like, how change, like every 6 months, you have to sit down and you have to watch Friends.
Exactly.
And the thing is, it doesn't get old,
Exactly. It
no
does.
matter how much you watch it.
You have to
No,
get,
never, never.
you have to sit down and you have to watch the entire series in 1 week. It's just done. It's a rite of passage, right?
Exactly. True, true, true.
Right. But like, uh, where do I start? Like it, the entire reunion was just an emotional roller coaster. I watched it with my mother, right?
Yeah,
My mother, who's a longtime fan of Friends as well, who watched Friends when I was born, right? Like 1994. Like I think she started a year or two late. Like, and she's been watching Friends since the 90s. And like we made my mom sit down. We watched it with her, and it was just my mom was crying. I was crying. Amar was crying. It was just like,
it
oh,
was emotional. Yeah, a
overall.
lot.
Uh,
Just that moment when the six of them one coming in one by one. Even and that time I started crying, and my wife
Yeah,
came in and consoled me. Like she was like consoling me, like this is just a show. But she knows, and she was crying as well at her side, but she was still consoling me that okay, calm down. But it was just so nostalgic, watching these characters that we have seen like at least 10 seasons at twice a year, but still it was just amazing to see them together.
It really was. So, what do I have to ask you guys? What was your favorite part of the reunion?
The whole reunion, I think. But the thing was, there were two parts which were the best, and one of which was the card game to win the room. That was
The
epic.
quiz.
That was like perfectly done. And the second part, which was, when I'm still getting goosebumps by thinking of, when Matthew was sitting and he was like, "I'm gonna cry now." That was that
Yeah.
gave me chills.
For me, I love the table reads. The table reads were amazing. Okay, this was like a very. I did not expect them to do this because we saw them in the trailer, and I was expecting, and the scenes they picked for the table reads were very good picks, I would say. And obviously the introduction scene when they were all coming in one by one and meeting each other. I think these two parts stand out for me the most.
All great stuff. Um, I it's hard to pick favorites, but
Mhm.
one of my favorite scenes is like everybody's sitting in Monica's house and talking, but Matthew Perry and Matt LeBlanc have to be across the hall on the recliners. Like,
And Lisa says, they're on the chairs, they're on their chairs.
yeah,
They're like, oh yeah.
like they're like, we don't care about anything else. We're sitting on those recliners again. And that I don't like. Despite being 17 years later, it's like a totally Chandler and Joey thing to do.
The only thing missing was Baywatch.
Yeah, exactly. The only thing this is big watch,
Yeah,
and at this point, it would be the 2018, 19 remake.
Yeah, the Zach,
yeah,
the one
the
with Zach.
movie
Yeah,
and Rock and Rock.
I mean that's definitely one of my favorite scenes.
Mhm.
My other favorite scene is everybody agrees that they were on a break. That long debate. Everybody was like, yeah, they were on a break.
Yeah.
Absolutely were on a break. It's like
Well, they were on a break. I mean, that's the thing.
the meme is over, right? And yeah, those were one of my favorite scenes. And the spider reaction from Lisa. Okay, there's a
yeah.
spider on me.
The meme which is going on,
Yeah, this
you know,
now a new meme.
Yeah. The
Paul Rudd.
secret Ant-Man cameo.
God, why was this reunion everything we wanted and more? I mean, I know like a lot of us probably wanted a full-fledged episode.
Yeah, but
Mm.
again, this was better. The only thing which was not good was the runtime, the screen time which they gave them, and the screen time which they gave other people like from India, from Pakistan, from all over the world. That should have been at the end somewhere or at the start rather than in between. So I think the Friends should have been more given the screen time, according to my opinion. But hey,
I
that's
mean,
what we ask.
sure, I agree that we should have seen them on screen a bit more, but ultimately, it's a matter of a lot of the reunion was meant only for the people who saw it live, right?
Mm.
And
Yeah,
this is just what they wanted to release to the public. As we saw later, there was a whole scene regarding the trifle that wasn't a part of the reunion.
yeah. There were two scenes actually. One was the
Mm.
trifle scene, and the
Mm.
other was. I mean, I saw it in the reunion. I don't know why Sohaib is saying he didn't see it. You know the one which Joey says I like it, and the other was I forgot the other scene which he was talking about, which was deleted. Um, shit, I'm not really getting which scene it was. Shit, I'm not forgetting it.
It's, it's fine. Um,
Yeah,
It's fine. But the thing is that although I wanted, them to have a little bit of a scene with the characters as well, But the point that Lisa Kudrow made in that, because that to have a full flown episode, they would have to unravel their happy endings to have stories, and
Yeah.
they didn't want to do that, and I understood that. I understand it. I understood that. But still, there was some part of me that wanted just a 5 minute scene just to see where the characters were at this moment. Didn't need to have a problem created, just all of them meeting at a place, and just
But
just
again,
just like they did, just like the actors did at the start, the characters as well. But if it didn't happen, it is not, it hasn't bothered me, or it hasn't hampered my experience of the reunion. I'm just saying that if it was there, I would have loved it even more.
I agree. Um,
we did unravel a lot of secrets.
oh yeah,
That was a part of it. A lot of secrets.
Mm,
let's
mm,
talk about that. But I want to add to what Suhaib said really quickly before that. You know what I actually really wanted more than an episode? I wanted a 5 minute scene where everybody is in their future self just meeting in Monica's apartment. Just 5 minutes. Where they're in
exactly.
Yeah,
character,
and
where they're in character and meeting in the apartment.
Mm,
Nothing about where everybody is, what they're doing now, just
mm,
coming over there to say hi and meeting up. Right? We could see Emma and the
exactly.
twins as well. That's it. Like
Mm,
maybe
I mean, maybe they could have done it, but the thing was, a lot of the actors were busy because we didn't see Cole Sprouse and the actress who played Emma, of course. And they had to bring back a lot of people for it because there were a lot of
uh,
characters.
and then again, even if it was just the six, it would have worked. For us, for its fair, it would have worked like
it would have been
easy.
would have been
Yeah,
fine, yeah. It would have been great. Just that.
Mm, mm,
But ultimately what we got was great. Okay, secrets.
exactly.
Learned a lot about we learned things we
a
didn't
lot.
have any clue about,
Mm,
despite being big time Friends fans. Especially let's say, I think the biggest reveal that we had was the crush that Jennifer Aniston and Ross had,
Yeah.
mm.
right?
And then they played back the scene, and then we were like, oh, yeah.
Now we see it.
And it was just sad, honestly. It
I mean, yeah.
it hit a little.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, it hit a little close to home, and it was just like very very saddening. And I was just like, darn, if only.
But again, I mean, Jennifer was with Brad, I think, at the time. So, I mean, it would have messed up Dad also.
Yeah, but we know how well that went.
I mean, we know now, but according to the actors, they didn't know what it was going to be, right?
True.
Yeah, as Courtney Cox said in that, because if that wouldn't have ended well, I think the reunion wouldn't have happened, because them having hard feelings about each other, even the show wouldn't have gone as smoothly as it went. So all's well that ends well.
I mean, yeah, ultimately we can't change the past because there was also, I don't know if you guys know this, but
Mm,
season 7 was supposed to be the last season of Friends,
mhm,
right?
Yeah.
Because they asked for more money and they actually aired a promo that said it was going to be the series finale. And if you watched
mm,
the season 7 finale, there is no audience reaction to Jennifer's pregnancy hint,
mhm.
right?
Yeah, we
Because they
know.
filmed that later.
Yeah.
And
But things change, plans change. Even the plan of Chandler and Monica, just as they revealed that it was not going to be as
Yeah,
it planned, and just because of audience reaction, they went that way.
yeah, it was only
And
going to
we
be a one-night
thank,
stand type
yeah,
of thing.
and for the first time ever, I'm going to thank a London audience uh, for something they've given us so amazingly.
I know, right? I mean, I
Yeah.
love I love Chandler and Monica. I think they're the ideal couple, honestly. And
Oh,
and
But
I'm just glad it was the audience made it happen.
But hey, they
Hmm.
were planning Joey and Monica, and the scene where he was picking up and he goes dizzy, and Monica brings him to the room. That could have made the opening for that relationship. So I mean, it could have worked, but I don't want to see that alternate universe type friends. So I'm good with this.
For me, I would say that I think Chandler and Monica were the best couple of the
Yeah,
this 10
Yeah.
seasons. I
I
would say.
Uh,
Hmm.
they were the most stable throughout the entire show.
Hmm. Hmm.
And
And having Chandler in a couple is that saying something.
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, the hints for that have been there throughout the show. Like even in season as early as season one, Chandler tried to hit on Monica, especially in the hospital when Beth
Yeah.
was being born.
Hmm.
So he tried to hit on Monica and it failed. And then by the end of season three, he said, "Yeah, I'm not." She said, "I wouldn't date anybody like you." And then season four,
Yeah. And then she
started,
ended up
Yeah.
dating him.
yeah, season four started. They hinted
Hmm.
at it again, and by the end of season four, they got together. So yeah, they'd been
On,
working on it
on
for.
that note, Phoebe's, the play when they was reading the scripts, the reaction was the same. My eyes, my eyes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, Lisa Kudrow during those,
Yeah.
those table reads was amazing.
Yeah. She was so in character.
I think among all the six, I think Lisa Kudrow was the one who still looked pretty much, you know, still a little older version of herself, but still looked, the same as
Yeah,
we
they,
left her in the 10th season. I mean, the rest have regressed. They've
I
changed
mean,
their faces and stuff like that.
Jennifer
But
also
Kudrow was
was
like,
closest to it, but
yeah,
Monica, we all
you can
know
say you can say
classic.
second.
I
Yeah.
mean, in my opinion, the best looking two and the worst looking two, the best looking two were Courtney and Lisa in no particular order. Okay. But the worst looking two were Matt were both the Matts, Matthew Perry and
Yeah,
Matthew.
I won't really
Mm,
blame Matthew because he's been through a lot. And on that note, I will still talk about the hate which he's getting, which I don't see why people are hating on him. But
mm,
the show's directors say that he's fine and that he had a tooth extraction or some dental procedure done. So that's why he was, in kind of a drunk way. But I mean, if he was there, if you watch the whole episode, it's not like he's the same. He gets okay at parts. So I don't know why they're
mm.
complaining about him. So I'm just going to put this out there.
Actually, there is a the hatred about him because of his substance abuse during
Yeah,
the show shooting times, and even some YouTube channels that I will not name even put out videos on this fact that the Friends reunion did not talk about the substance abuse of Matthew Perry. And I don't think I wanted to know. I wanted to see that. I think I wanted to know about that. Sure, the Matthew shared about his anxiety attacks. I think that was more better for him to share, to tell us what he was going through mentally during this, rather than talk about his substance abuse, which would have changed or darkened the mood of this reunion. Even that part when he shared about his anxiety attack, because me being these people know and he said that I am the joker of the group, and me and Mubarak, we joke around and we make foolish jokes, and even even I sometimes face anxiety issues because of if somebody not laughs at my joke. And I felt that when he said that, I was obviously it's not healthy, but not as the extent he said, but obviously sometimes it does things to you. And I felt that, and I liked that he shared this experience rather than talking about the substance abuse that we knew what which was, but I think this was better. And I really it was hard seeing him this way, because Chandler was and always will be my favorite character in Friends, simply put. So
I
this
don't
was something that made me sad, really.
I don't think there's any argument on the Chandler being the favorite amongst the three of us.
Yeah, yeah. There's no argument.
Yeah.
Uh,
On that note,
Hmm.
I think we will just. I'm going to just put it out there. If the real Joey, which they were planning to cast, was which they revealed was the Joey, I don't think the show would have gone this better. I'm not sure. Maybe it would have gone, but for me, it
No,
wouldn't.
no, no,
Also,
no.
also the same thing is with Jennifer. I mean, Rachel. Also, they were
Hmm.
planning for Monica and Monica. They were planning for. I forgot the name they told in the reunion.
Okay.
If the characters were different, I don't think the show would have gone this better, and maybe just maybe it wouldn't have gone this long, according to my knowledge.
Honestly, it's so fun to think about sometimes, and that any any of the actors could have been anybody else, right? Because I don't
Hmm.
know, they didn't talk about this in the show technically, but like uh, Alan from Two and a Half Men, John Cryer, or Lex
Hmm.
Luthor
Yeah,
from Super,
he was to
he was
be
supposed to
Chandler, right? Yeah,
be, right? And the reason he wasn't Chandler, and the producers talked about this in a different interview, is because
Hmm.
when the casting was finalized, his audition date came 2 days late, right?
yeah.
Maybe if it arrived 2 days earlier, we would have had John Cryer as Chandler instead of Matthew Perry,
No.
Hmm.
right? And that's not
Oh.
something fun to think about, if I'm being very honest, right?
No, no, no. Matthew Perry is perfect as Chandler.
You know,
I wouldn't have it any other way.
Matthew Perry is perfect. And then we saw, and then they talked about how this other Joey actor they had in mind was then the
Hmm.
Yeah.
Joey
Hmm.
doppelganger when he tried to do the twin
How
study.
you doing? How you
Yeah.
doing?
How you doing?
Yeah, I mean, not a
Hmm.
fan of that casting, but nice to
Yeah.
know that people they chose previously were still on the show. Um,
Hmm.
while we're on the subject of guests, let's talk about some of the guests on this show,
Yeah.
which were honestly not needed at all.
Let me just say,
Mhm.
why Malala? Just why? I don't get it.
Other than Malala, why Mindy?
There were a lot
Why
of things.
Beckham? Why?
Yeah, Beckham.
Yeah,
I don't think
I
I
think
was hoping Beckham would
yeah.
have made an appearance, but no.
I would have preferred if they would have the the normal audience was giving rather than giving time to these guests.
Yeah.
If this reunion was, if this was showing anything that it was uh, how it means to us as fans, they would have included more people from more, internationally. I think that would have been better than rather than having Beckham or Mindy Kaling or Malala for people to be in this. What
I
do you
mean,
say on that?
there were two guests which I think were okay to be included. To be dead honest, Bieber came dressed, so I mean that's fine, and Kara came as dressed as well. You know, the fashion show. I mean that's okay. You can make guest appearances in that. The only other guest which I think was okay and was in fact good was Lady Gaga. I mean that was a throwback to
Hmm, hmm.
Phoebe. So I mean that was perfectly done in my opinion.
Okay, so Lady Gaga, I didn't even recognize because I was
I
so
mean
used
you
to
haven't seen the movie, right? The
uh,
movie with
Star Wars.
Bradley Cooper.
No, I haven't seen it yet. I want to. I just haven't seen it yet. But I don't recognize it because I mostly remember her from like Bad Romance
Yeah,
and Born This Way, and I remember her mostly from the music videos, and she looked nothing like she did in any music video, right?
I
So
know.
I
Hmm,
I think okay, so like I understand the point of the guests, right? Like including people like David Beckham and BTS and these kind of people. It just shows. It was just a matter of showing how big the show is, right? That these
Hmm.
very well recognized international names also watch the show.
Hmm.
But the reason I was not a fan of the Malala appearance is not for the same reasons you two might have. It's because she didn't know anything about the show.
Yeah,
She was only there because her best friend knew about the show,
Hmm.
which doesn't make sense.
right? And she was
Exactly.
struggling to get a few words out during the whole interview process.
Moving on.
Yeah,
Exactly.
moving on from that,
Yeah.
David Beckham, BTS, I enjoyed because very big household names, both of them. Okay, and to show that
Hmm.
the kind of impact it had from friends, like how they claim, like BTS said, like, I forget, I don't know the members of BTS. I'm not that big of a fan, but the fact that they said we learned English from friends.
Umair, do you want us to get cancelled by saying that?
Hey, it's fine.
Don't say you're not a fan of BTS.
I'm not saying I'm a fan. I like BTS. I'm just not a big fan that I learned their names. I'm a twice. I prefer twice. But anyway, that's a different discussion together. My opinions are like all the guests were fine. I guess I had the issue I had with Malala's guest appearance. I already said I had an issue with Justin Bieber as a guest appearance because he was just there for clout. And uh,
Hmm.
Cindy Crawford was there just to be a model, but I'm not complaining because we got Cindy Crawford in leather pants. So all good on my end for that. And but I have to say the winner of the fashion show was Joy Tribbiani
Joey.
wearing all of
Okay,
Simpler.
buddy boy. You wear my clothes, I'm wearing everything you own.
Thing you
that was my favorite
um,
of the fashion show, honestly.
said moving from the guests towards the cameos.
Yeah, the Gellers were there, and
Yes.
That made me cry.
There
The
was Mr.
yeah,
I know. That was a very good. That was a very.
I didn't expect to see like Elliot Gould and I forget her name again. I didn't expect to see them, and the story they told, every time they show up on set, the parents are here. My
yeah.
heart melted the moment I heard that, and I was just like, oh god.
I
Like
know.
no
I
way.
know.
And they're
No,
like,
it was a that was a very beautiful cameo.
Yeah, but they had cameos like Tom Selleck back as Richard. We all know that was good. That was a good cameo. And then, the one and
Mr.
only
Heckles was a good cameo.
Maggie Wheeler. Oh my God.
I think in the cameos, Janice had the best entry.
Yeah, Janice Maggie Wheeler.
yes, Maggie Wheeler had the best entrance. Although I'm surprised we had an appearance from Mr. Heckles because I thought the actor passed away a while ago.
Yeah,
I
and
was
I
surprised.
really thought he wasn't with us anymore.
Yeah, so I was genuinely surprised to see him, right? And oh, the same barbershop quartet from the season 3 episode were in this reunion too. The same quartet, right? And that
Yeah.
just blew my mind.
We
Like
saw Gunther.
exactly Gunther and Gunther's voice. I never noticed before.
So,
Gunther's voice is
Yeah, it was so different.
his voice is just spot on.
Huh.
Your voice, God, that voice is good.
they they had the hand twin.
Yes,
Yeah,
fun fact: Matthew Perry and the actor with the hand actually have a show together called The Odd Couple.
I've seen
Oh,
that.
nice.
3 seasons. It's good. It's pretty fun.
I've not seen that.
I was on a Matthew Perry kick
Oh,
for a while. I even watched his canceled one season show called Go On. Fantastic
Did
show.
you did you see the one
hmm.
Joey? The
Yeah,
one
I've
which
seen
came
Movie.
after? Yeah, yeah.
I've seen Joe. I've seen Cougar Town as well. I followed these guys' career a bit after as well. The only show that
Yeah.
I haven't seen that I probably won't see is Web Therapy, which was
Yeah, I haven't seen that for Lisa, right?
I haven't seen Web Therapy. I've seen a lot of Jennifer Aniston stuff. Along Came Polly, Meet Millers.
Yeah, Jennifer Aniston we still seeing.
right?
He's still saying.
But I haven't seen. And Ross, we had
He
other
was pretty much on.
the O.J. Simpson story, Madagascar.
Speaking of Ross, he hated the monkey, which is why.
It makes reasoning makes sense.
Well,
Marcel, I mean, he looked good on him. To be very honest, the scene where the monkey plays the song, and all three, Chandler, Ross, and Joey, they start dancing to it. I would have never thought Ross hated. I would have never thought David hated the monkey.
To be honest,
he said because we were doing. Yeah.
his reasoning made
Go
perfect
ahead, man.
Yeah, his reasoning made sense.
because it. I mean, obviously, if your production is being compromised because of an animal who can't meet its mark, then you have the monkey has to go. Like he and Ross had like it's. I mean, I only know them as their character names. I find it so hard to refer to them as their actor names, but
Original name, yeah.
David had the right point.
Yeah.
Okay. If the people are doing everything right and the monkey is the one that's screwing up, then you have to get rid of
Yeah.
them.
Also, speaking of this,
So,
speaking of the redoing the shoots, Joey looked dislocated his arm, and we didn't
Yeah,
even
I
know.
was about to bring that up.
yeah. Mhm.
And we didn't even know.
They like
I mean, how they put it into the show was clever, to be honest.
yeah, it was like when usually when
Yeah.
actors in movies and like when an actors in these TV shows end up with like these injuries, they write it into the show, but like I didn't know how. I just thought it was like one of those just say like how he said he fell on the toilet and scabbed his nose. Right. I
Yeah,
thought
yeah.
it was something that happened off
Mm.
screen, like maybe he got in an accident or a bar fight or something. No, I didn't know it happened on set.
Yeah, and when they showed it, I was like, no. And then I started rethinking. The next episode, he had the brace on. Oh yeah,
And then you have to realize that this happened in front of a live audience,
yeah, live audience.
right?
Exactly.
And they stopped filming the episode entirely and then moved on to the next
Mm.
episode and then came back to film the rest of this episode,
Mm.
right? It's just crazy. I mean,
And especially being that being one of the best episodes where no one is ready. It is one of the best
it
episodes.
was on TV the other day.
Yeah,
Like we have Comedy Central. It has Friends running. Right? 2 episodes of Friends
yeah.
every hour.
It has Friends and Impractical Jokers running 24/7
Yeah. So
for
like
some reason.
the other day, the Nobody is Ready while the episode was playing.
I just saw the one which when they won the room like yesterday, and today morning it was the one which when all of them finds out it was on. So I was like, I started watching that.
I mean, this also about Friends. Like you can watch any episode out of the
And
line and you can still enjoy it.
yeah,
You don't need to, build up.
I mean they're still linked to the previous episode in some way, but we can watch it individually as
Because
well.
we have seen the season because we still if we watch something out of line, we still enjoy it.
Yeah, because we know the whole story.
I mean, here's the thing. Okay, so like here's one question I have to ask, and then we'll talk about our scores, and then we'll wrap up. What two questions basically? One, what is the first episode of Friends you remember seeing?
Which I ever saw. Okay, I don't even remember this now.
Which
I
the
think
first episode of
okay.
Friends that I ever saw?
I ever saw this was the one which the first episode which aired, the one when Rachel runs away from the altar. This was the first episode I ever saw. I remember.
The first episode I ever saw was the season 8 premiere.
The season 8 premiere.
8 premiere. I watched a season 8 premiere. I watched the first 8 episodes of season 8. And after that, I went back and started from watching from season 1 and onwards.
Right. So the first episode of Friends that I ever saw, that I remember seeing, darn, I forgot what it was. I had it. It's a season 7 episode. Because I was in America and the reruns were happening, and then it was a season 7
Hmm.
episode. I don't remember which one anymore. I think it was. Oh, it was the tag Jabo 30 when she turned 30.
Ah, the
She
one with
turned
all
30.
the one where
That
they all turned dirty.
Yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
Joey. Why me?
My God, why?
that is one of the first episodes I remember seeing. The other episode, okay, I'm on the spot now and I've forgotten what they were, but the other episode I saw was in season 4 episode, and it was some beach. I
Which
don't
one? The one which
They were
Joey
they were in the
pisses.
beach house
The one with Joey
with
no, no,
pisses
no.
on.
It was somewhere in the mid of the season. It was the no, that's okay. No, no, it was season 3 episode. It was the one where everybody's getting ready. I remember the Richard phone call, their message from Richard. That was the scene that stuck with me. Yes, that's the second episode of Friends I ever watched. And then when we came back from America to Pakistan, my parents started buying all the DVDs from season 1 in 2003. So then I started watching from season 1. Right. And what is your
That's cool.
favorite episode of Friends?
Favorite episodes. I
Nice.
For me, the one with the embryos
The
in the
one.
quiz.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was good.
that's a good episode. That's a very good episode. My favorite episode of Friends to this day is still episode 1 because it is hilariously good. Right?
Oh,
Yeah,
it is. It is. It is.
it really is.
If you've seen the Blu-ray full edition without all the scenes cut out, the 35-minute version of the episode,
Yeah, yeah.
that's even better,
Mm. Agreed.
right?
Agreed.
And man, this show it really touched a lot of people. I love it so much.
Mm.
So, guys, the reunion. How did it make you feel, and what would you rate it out of 10?
Oh, okay. Emotional. A lot of memories. A lot of throwback. A lot of sadness. A lot of happiness. It was all over, and a bit sad that we won't see them again. I mean, we will see them again and again and again and again until I don't know what time, but I will I will rate it like I don't know. I'm going to rate it 10 because I wanted it to happen and it happened and it was perfect. They all were there and I will rate it a 10 out of 10. Love it or hate it, right? On to Saib.
Yeah, pretty much. The same feelings. So much nostalgia in this reunion, and just watching them come back together, revisiting old memories. It was, and the memories, them revisiting their old memories, and it took us back to revisiting our old memories as well of watching those shows. So it was like, multi-layered that way for us, for the person watching the show, a fan of the show. And I pretty much loved it. I mean, as I said, if they had a 5-minute scene, just
Even better.
the characters meeting each other would have made it even more perfect. But for that, I will slightly reduce a zero point 0.5. So I would say a 9.5 out of
Um, I would have to agree with you. I just like a little bit of something in their character, right? Apart from a table reading, a small 2 minute, like not even 5 minutes. I'll live with 2 minutes,
10.
right? Just them all coming together. Like instead of the beginning where they're all coming into set, they could have just shown the characters meeting up after like 17 years, right?
Yeah.
Or something like that. But yeah, I would also have to say a 9.5 out of 10, right? Although a part of me really wants to give it an 11 out of 10 because I loved it that
Yeah,
much. Like,
I
I'm
know,
pretty
I know.
sure I'm going to end up watching it again. The reunion. I'm pretty
I
sure
will.
it's going to end
Obviously,
up.
obviously.
I'm pretty sure it's going to end
And
up in weekly rotation. Like in 1 week, you have to watch the entire show and then you have to watch the reunion right after.
the only thing which hit was, I think it was Courtney who said it, that this was the first time they're meeting all of them together, and we will not wait another 15 to 17 years to meet again. And that really hit me, right? And it was like a lot of life happening, and it was perfect.
True.
Everything.
Only one complaint: only if Gordon didn't make the deleted scenes and would have released everything, because I know there are more deleted scenes, and screw you, Gordon, for not releasing them.
Yeah, no, there's
I think he will when the streaming sites allow. He will release the whole interview on his own show.
like, no, don't worry, we're gonna get a Gordon cut pretty soon.
Yeah, release the
Release
Gordon
the
cut.
Gordon cut.
Anyway, everybody, that's our review of the Friends reunion. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to give us a like, a comment, and subscribe if you want to see more of our views on things. Until then, I'm about to go watch Friends. I'll see you guys next time.